before we get into the video, and it's a pretty cool one. I just wanted to say that if you are interested in working with me, I am hiring at my refrigeration and air conditioning company, okay? I'm looking for an experienced and or a non-experienced technician, okay? I'm probably only going to hire one right now between the two, so I'm accepting resumes. If you want to shoot me over a resume, you kind of see the stuff that I do. You see my expectations. You see how I like stuff done. That's what we do here, okay? We try to take care of the customer as best as possible. If you're interested in working with me, whether experienced or non-experienced, the only thing I ask is if you're non-experienced, I'd appreciate some sort of trade school, some sort of education that gave you the fundamentals, and then I can build on that. If you are an experienced technician and you want to work with me, you know, I'm going to be pretty critical. You know, you got to be that unicorn tech. You got to be that person that really, really wants to do this because we have a lot of expectations here. Now, we work in the Southern California area, specifically the Inland Empire. So I'm looking for someone that lives locally in the Inland Empire and or really close to that, because commuting an hour to work every day just isn't going to work, okay? But again, I'm looking for someone experienced and or non-experienced, preferably with some sort of education beneath them, you know, trade school, something like that, okay? And I am willing to train for sure. So shoot me an email to hvacrvideos@gmail.com with your resume, and I'll definitely give them a look, and then maybe we'll be in contact, okay? Let's get on with this cool video. We got a call on 2 ice machines that aren't working. I actually know what's going on with them. They're very dirty and we got some issues, but let's get up in here and have a look. These machines are both filthy and full of calcium, really bad. Like really, really bad, to the point that, well, the reason why they're so full is because they're not dumping water. Don't know if it's a dump valve or don't know if it's a plugged up drain line, but both of them are insanely calcified. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna start by, it is nasty in here, we're gonna start by shutting off the water to both of these machines, and then we're gonna put them into a clean mode, and they're gonna dump what little water's in there. But look at this, we come over here, the water is coming out the top of the overflow because that drain line is completely restricted. So yeah, we've got some problems here. I don't understand why. I don't know if the drain got plugged up, who knows. Look at this drain, it's completely blocked off with calcium. Something had to happen here. This is crazy. Look at this. The one, this, like, I think they're shoving something under here and plugging these up, because this thing was pitched. This is the drain. This one was pitched at an angle, but it's plugged. It's plugged up. We've had this problem on these guys before. That's why this one is here. This has actually been cut out, and it was converted to that small one. So I think they're shoving something under here, stopping the water flow or something like that. That's crazy. So look at the inside of this pipe. It's full of calcium. This is nuts. Gotta get back here and get this union pulled off. And get this pulled off, then we can just redo these drain lines. Not have to worry about them. They're too calcified. Oh my gosh, even that is calcified. What the heck is going on there? It's like backing all the way up into this unit. This is nuts. What the heck? It won't even turn. My gosh, this one's kind of bad. I can't even get this off. It's insane. It's probably just a weird angle I'm in. Alright, let's get out of here. This is what happens when a machine can't drain. If you ever see calcium like this, it's typically because it's not draining, whether it's a dump valve or a plugged up drain line. That's insane though. So I ran over and got a bunch of copper and a bunch of fittings, and we're just redoing the drain lines. Whole new runs for both sides. They've already got unions on them, so I can utilize the union, connect that, we'll put a riser on it, and then we'll make sure it's sloped in the right direction and hope they don't shove something under those drain lines again. I wonder if they like get cardboard boxes under them or something, and then like it just slowly builds up. I don't know. So the way that I do these is I make them long. I measured so it goes down lower than I know it's going to need to go. and I can put the unions on, and then we'll do everything else from underneath the bin. So we're probably gonna press some fittings in there, but I just need to get these put up and tightened on, and then we'll figure out the bottom section of it all. So under here, I'm just pressing the fittings, right? Getting them to come the direction that I want them. I got that one cut where I want it, and we're just doing it, and I'm checking it with the level the entire time to make sure we're pitched in the right direction. Nothing funky is going on. All right, we got our drain all ran. I just have it zip tied for now. We gotta make sure everything's nice and secure. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything better than zip tying it though, we'll see. But it's pitched in the right direction, everything's good, nice and tight. So we're in the process of cleaning everything right now over there. So once we get it all cleaned, we'll reassemble it and then run cleaner through the machine again. I ended up soldering the lines together right there, so now they're nice and sturdy and don't need all the zip ties, so we're good to go. All right, these machines are neglected. You are never gonna get all of this off without completely scratching the plastic, creating gouges for more stuff to grow. You can try to get the surface stuff off, but when it's this neglected, there's not much more you can do. I'm just spraying the whole thing down with hot water. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna spray a little ice machine cleaner on this, try to dissolve it a little bit, and then we'll give it a little more of a scrub down. But you can clearly see back in there, there's just like calcium floating around, like everything. So I utilize the water hose with hot water and just blast this thing. Obviously paying attention where the water's going, making sure nothing bad's getting wet and stuff. But this is just because the machines were dirty, but the extent of the craziness is because the drains were plugged up. I think someone should have something underneath the drain lines. Look at the dump valve, it's just completely full of calcium. I'm hoping I have one of those. I was suspecting this one of being bad anyway, so we're changing it. So I've got a pump sprayer here with ice machine cleaner in it, and we're just spraying the surfaces that we normally are having a hard time getting to, right? And that it's not gonna be perfect, but it'll get some of this stuff off. You can see it foaming back there. We're using the Refrigeration Technologies Viper ice machine cleaner. You gotta watch your eyes because you wanna make sure you got glasses on. Protect yourself. And it can be a little potent too. So just all up in here, all up in here. Getting back in there, making sure we're spraying it down. All the surfaces, and then we'll get in with Scotch-Brite pads. And again, it's not going to be perfect, but we're doing our best. And the ice machine cleaner surprisingly does a pretty good job. Just that by itself. We're going to do an initial rinse, and then we'll put another application of it. Trying to get the bulk of the big stuff off, and it's disintegrating it. I mean, I can see the stuff kind of coming off. Look at this guy. This spray, or this ice thickness probe is just completely hammered. Stuff coming out. Look at the bottom of the bin. Like all that calcium down there. It's crazy, all the stuff that's coming out of here. Crazy, crazy. I don't have a dump valve, so I'm hoping we can get this guy cleaned out and functioning. Hopefully I can soak it in cleaner and it'll work. I don't know. This bad sometimes becomes a problem. Hopefully this coil's not burnt up. Never have I ever seen this much calcium. That's crazy. It's like packed to the top. These spray rails were a nightmare to get out. What you need is the O-rings. 3004 64-9. Put all new O-rings on them and then put some of the silicone grease, and it won't be as difficult getting off next time. Food grade silicone grease works wonders on these. Put a nice layer of it on there, put the spray rail back together, put it in there. We're going to be pulling it out again. So these things are so bad that we're going to put them back together, we're going to run cleaner through them, take a lunch, come back, tear them down completely again, give them a scrub down again, and then put them back together and hope that there's no other issues. So this guy, they're both in a wash right now. And I filled them with hot water, and they're both draining at the moment. So that's a good sign. They're both allowing water to drain from them. So we're still going to clean them and then finish troubleshooting after we get them the cleaner running through it, basically. Once you get to the point where it's doing a water fill, you'll be able to see water coming in from the water fill valve over there. You can see just how horrible these machines are. And the problem is, the more you scrub, the more you gouge the plastic. It just sucks, man, like all in here. It's just what happens when you don't do proper cleanings on a regular basis. But again, we're still gonna do another tear down on this machine. and another wipe down once we get the initial calcium out of the hoses and everything. So I poured cleaner in once it did water fill. We're letting it circulate. The first dump, we'll go ahead and just dump it all out and then tear it down again. Same on that one. That one's got good water flow across the evaporators. This one does too, nice and good. It's looking good so far. You want to make sure you pull off these covers, scrub down in here. Again, you can only do so much, and you know, the reason why I say you don't want to use like razor blades and screwdrivers and different things is because it gouges the plastic and then it gives a place for bacteria to grow. And it just causes the calcium to be worse next time you work on it. So just keep that in mind. This thing is just beat down though. These machines are about done. I mean, just lack of maintenance, you know? You can only do so much. I mean, where do they want me? Do they want me to change every part? All these are covered in grease. Everything up in the top is covered in grease. But that's not the ice surface, so they're pretty safe on that. But yeah, it's just a mess. All right, we saw them both go into the first rinse from the cleaning cycle. So we canceled the clean and then we put them into an ice mode. We're still gonna dump all the ice. We're still gonna tear them apart and clean them one more time. But I just wanna see if these machines are actually gonna make ice and if everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna let Robert finish up the second tear down and he's gonna go get some Scotch-Brite and try to get in here a little bit more. Another good thing is keep toothbrushes in your van, obviously not used ones. And those do a good job of getting into these corners and scrubbing these things down. So this guy will get a full tear down again, wipe down, corners, all that stuff. We'll try our best. And I realize these have UV bulbs, so I'll definitely be coming back with some new UV bulbs on this one too. Look up in here. The top of this is damaged from calcium and from scraping it with something. That's why I don't like scraping when we're doing cleanings and stuff. It should just be a towel or a very light abrasive pad like a Scotch-Brite pad. But yeah, that top lip right there is all damaged on both these sides and on both these sides over here. They're both getting cold. They're starting to form ice on both evaporators, so I want to see them both make ice, and then like I said, then I can get out of here, go run some other calls. Robert will do another tear down on them, and we'll come back. As long as I see them make ice, we'll come back to change the bulbs and follow up in a couple days. All right, so that is way too thick. Way too thick. That's a solid sheet, so we're definitely going to be thinning up that one. But let's see if it harvests, and then this one should be getting ready to go here soon too. So we're getting ready on this side to harvest it. Yeah, there it goes. It's just way too thick, so. There goes one side. Let's see if this side lets go. So we're waiting for this guy, and it's just about there. I thinned up this one over here, and then I went to go change the water filters, and the whole system fell off the wall. So I gotta remount that. No good deed goes unpunished, right? Over here with these filters, everything's just covered in grease because they have a massive grease problem here. Like these ice machines too, the covers are just a film of grease all on the outside. Now, the ice area was all protected because it had all the covers, but this whole area is just grease, man. It's nuts how much grease is over here. There's a return for the kitchen AC right here. Look at this. All grease, broken flecks too, but it's just all nasty grease. This one was starting to make it too thick too. I went ahead and terminated or adjusted the thickness so it made it. We're gonna have to watch a batch from each one to make sure that it actually makes it properly. The second batch, now that I've thinned them up. You can see the water's actually draining now out of the drain, nice and stable. So that's good. That is a plus. We should be getting ready to harvest. Here goes one side. On the right is going right now. There's one side, and then let's see the left make it. There it goes. You can see the vacuum being broken on the left. You can see what looks like water draining down. That's just the air getting behind the sheet. And the weight of the sheet, because the machines are sitting level, will pull itself right off the evaporator as long as the evaporator is nice and clean. There it goes. So both machines have made ice. We need to watch one more batch from each, and then we're burning that. And then we're gonna run cleaner and sanitizer through them again. I remounted that water filter system. The other one's falling down now. And the other one's got a crack in the top, so it's leaking. It's like, good gosh, you know? So they're gonna have to get some new water filters for the right side for sure. This one right here, we watched it make ice again. I thinned it up just a little bit more, and as soon as it does a water fill, we're gonna pour some more of the Viper Nickel Safe Ice Machine Cleaner in there, let it circulate, and then we'll tear it down one more time. At least Robert will. I gotta take off. So that's pretty much going to be it. Both machines are working, and I will be coming back to follow up. All right, we got back. Turned out pretty good. Just following up today. We're going to change some UV bulbs for these guys right here on both of them. Everything's good. We're making ice. Nice and full down there. Nice and full down there. The sheets don't look too big. Yeah, everything's good. So I'm gonna put these bulbs in. All you do is disconnect power right there and then pull the bulb out, put the new one in. See, the old one's just worn out. Then we'll put it back in and do the same for the other side too. All right, everything is good. I'm telling them they're good to go. No more leaks. They still gotta, I talked to them about getting a new filter system. But everything's good back here. It's draining like it's supposed to be. Pitched in the right direction, secured. It should be good to go. I don't know why those plugged up in the first place, but oh well. That was insane, right? That was a lot of calcium. Now, it's not normal that I ever see anything like that unless, like I said, it's a bad dump valve or a plugged up drain line. It's very rare. Now, this one had 2 plugged up drain lines, which, what are the odds that both of them plugged up, right? The drains were pitched in the right direction. Like, I think that they just have a bad habit of shoving flattened out cardboard boxes underneath the ice machine because it's just a nice big open area. And I've seen it before where people will regularly shove boxes under there. And in my, I don't know though, because I didn't see it happen. But I mean, I guess if they're shoving boxes on a regular basis, it could block off the drain and restrict it. And over time, calcium will start to build. I mean, I know that seems far-fetched, but what else would cause those drain lines to plug up like that? Like, it was just nuts. So regardless, we had to change the drain lines before we could even start to clean the ice machines. And with a situation like this, I told the customer from the beginning, I have no idea what's wrong with these machines. We need to start with being able to clean them. We need to clean them 100% before we can even diagnose anything that's going on. We do that often, right? I'm not going to go in there and say, oh yeah, I just need to clean it. It'll be all good. No. I need to clean it and then we start. So once we got the drains repiped and got them draining, then while I was doing the drain lines, I had another technician with me and he was pulling all the parts out and just getting the bulk of the calcium out of them, right? Just, cleaning, scrubbing down the drain pans. Then we put them back in and we ran cleaner through the machine. Once we ran cleaner through the machine, and the machine was actually flowing water, right? I went ahead and watched 2 batches of ice from each one, made some adjustments, and then I let Robert, then we tore him down again, made sure everything was good. He went through everything and made sure that, the machines were as good as they can be. Now, it's so important to understand, once that calcium gets to a certain point, like, there's no way to get it off the walls of the box and stuff without damaging something. Okay. That is a very thin, like, epoxy coating. And behind that, there's metal surfaces. And when you start scraping, you start gouging the metal, the plastic, you start giving places for bacteria and calcium to grow. And that's a problem. So you never want to scrape ice machine surfaces. You never want to use putty knives or anything like that. I mean, I'm not going to say I've never done it. I have, but it's not a good idea. Even if it's a stainless steel, like on a Hoshizaki, you still don't want to scrape those because the little gouges create microscopic little places for bacteria to grow, and then it just becomes a problem. So best case scenario, light abrasive pads like a Scotch-Brite or a Brillo pad or something like that. Even the Brillo pads can be, I think those are the metal ones, right? You don't want to do those. You just want like a light abrasive pad, like a Scotch-Brite pad. And then just ice machine cleaner, multiple, coatings, basically. It's just time consuming. This particular job, we had 2 guys cleaning that machine. I want to say that I was there for 4.5, maybe 6 hours I was there. I think I might have been there for 6 hours. And then I think Robert had another 2. So I think he was there for 8 hours. It is what it is. Like, this customer, for whatever reason, they choose not to do a routine maintenance. And things like this happen. Now, I guess if they were doing a routine maintenance, it's possible that we would have caught this before it became as bad as it was, right? But it's hard to say. Stuff happens. We're there to fix it. Is it frustrating they don't clean the ice machines on a regular basis? Sure, but they call me when it's broken and I clean it then. So, I don't really care too much. I would certainly like to have a little more consistency in the service work, right? Because if we do routine maintenances, we can plan for that. We can schedule for that. when it's just reactive maintenance where, oh, it's broken. And then you get there and it's like, yeah, I got to clean this for 8 hours before I can even diagnose it. Right. That can be a little frustrating, but it is what it is. Right. It's just the way that the times are going with chain restaurants and even mom and pop restaurants. They're doing that too. So, you know, you just got to kind of roll with the punches and, you know, see where everything takes you. And this is the kind of stuff we're having to do. So we just got to be thorough, right? Big picture stuff. Don't be afraid, at least for me with my customers. I'm not afraid to say, hey, I need to come back the next day, follow up on the machine, make sure everything's good. And then I change those UV bulbs, right? And then got those in there. So those UV bulbs, they actually do work. So those should help, you know, to try to keep slime and bacteria from growing. It's not going to do anything really with calcium, but it's going to be the slime and the bacteria from growing. And then we're just waiting for them to get a new water filter system. And then, you know, maybe we'll get that replaced. I don't know if they'll use a plumber to do it or me, whatever. Regardless, it is what it is. I really appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm looking for a new technician right now. So maybe experienced, maybe non-experienced. I'd love to look at both of your resumes. Let me know. HVACRvideos@gmail.com. Just got to live local to me, okay? That's the big thing. Can't have people driving an hour and a half to my shop. That's just not going to work on a regular basis because we drive into the shop every day. So again, shoot me an email, hvacrvideos@gmail.com. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you know, the easiest way to support this channel is just watch the videos from beginning to end. That really is the easiest way. But you can choose to support it financially too via PayPal, Patreon, or YouTube channel memberships, which are all monthly commitments. Just charges your credit card the amount that you want to donate to the channel. There's links in the show notes of this video on how to do that. A couple other ways. You can go to my website, hvacrvideos.com. We have merchandise available, t-shirts, hats, beanies, all that good stuff. And last but not least, if you see any tools that I use that you like, check out truetechtools.com. Majority of my tools come from there. There's a few that don't, but majority of them do. And if you like what you see at truetechtools.com, I have an affiliate code, big picture, one word. At checkout, you put that in, coupon code, affiliate code, and you'll get an 8% discount on majority of the items on their website, and then I get a small commission from that. So that's another great way to help support the channel. All right? I really appreciate you. Thank you so very much, and we will catch you on the next one.